Morning guys, okay here we go. So this is me heading to Union Rep Connect. This is going to be a quite interesting one. I'm looking forward to this today. I'm actually going to be sitting on the panel. I'm really looking forward to this. So yeah, stay tuned for the journey. Yeah, ignore the haircut, alright? Let's take it from there. Bye. Alright, here we go. I'm here, so just time to get ready to go in. Let's take a look and see what it's all about. Wow, the buzz is on. I've just had a nice cup of coffee, a little bit of a Danish, but getting ready. I'm feeling so excited about this. Just take a look. Whoop, sorry about that. The atmosphere is buzzing here today at Union Rep Connect. I'm really looking forward to this. See you in a minute.
Grand Shacks, gone. Penny Gordon's, gone.
Yay!
Keegan, gone.
As well as some key pieces, and then finally the
And that will be by setting up a further agency, and that will take the place or roll into.
And Paddy, what are you most proud of as successes in your time as a rep?
Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? All good? Thank you. So everyone's paying attention, that's good. From my sort of perspective, it was changing the mindset and the culture of my workplace. I'm a very anti-union, anti-union members and the reps are in the hands and the pockets of the managers, they're not going to represent us, to changing it from 48% membership when I joined to 77% membership density by the time of February 2024. So that didn't happen just by me. It was by creating a team that I was like-minded individuals, making sure that we all came together on the same values that the union keep on for equality, fighting for workers' rights, and making sure that everyone's fully protected. But also the number their rights were in terms of health and safety, protecting their without going all kind of flowery. I think we've all been there. We all became reps for one big reason. We want to change things in our lives. We have, and thankfully I've been recognised for that. But that's not just down to me, it's down to the team that was behind me every step of the way.
That's an amazing change in membership density, really, really something amazing to aim for. So that leads me on to my next question about, you've all had successes, but there must be sometimes battles with members or potential members. So are there any common misconceptions that members have about unions or union reps, and how do you manage to address them? Let's go with you, Martina.
So in the construction side, I also find that the member skills we have
It is so important, isn't it? And what about you, Hadi?
It's all about common misconceptions, yeah? I think everyone here will be in agreement with me on this one. We get paid for being reps. Yeah? I also was under that impression too. That's why I became a rep, because I like my math units. Actually, I thought I'd get an easier life. No, that didn't happen. They actually gave me more of a workload. But again, this is what tends to happen. And when you're going out there as part of battles, when you're convincing the hearts and minds of non-members, especially the ones who are really staunch, they've got this impression in their mind that union reps are easy to be bribed and so on and so forth, and far worse, they get paid for it, and therefore they're not going to best represent members, in either disciplinaries or grievances. And trying to overcome that was quite difficult. But having said that, it did happen gradually. You just have to keep reinforcing the message, and chipping away at their first impressions, and fingers crossed, you then build up your density, and then hopefully from doing that, you create activists. From the activists, you then change them into reps. Again, they're in for a very hard time. They don't realise the sort of tough battles all us reps go through when they're brand new, but when they actually get into it and start putting their heads above the parapet, then we have to be there to support those younger reps as well, or new reps. But yeah, it's always down to misconceptions of you get extra money.
Absolutely, Ivan.
Yeah, so just what you're saying there reminded me, one of the biggest misconceptions is the reps of the union.
And of course, you work with members every day, but members don't always agree. So how do you handle conflicts or differing opinions amongst your members in the workplace? That must be quite tricky. And what about within our store, Henny? How do you manage conflicts there?
Conflicts happen on a daily basis, and a lot of the time it is about. But for me, I learned two different things. One, so that you have paid attention, and then give you time to think of a good answer. And the other thing that I remember when I was a very, very young lad and had a lot of weight out there, yeah, it happens to the best of us, was what is everyone's favourite radio station? Does everyone know? Actually, it's WIIFM. What's in it for me? Because there's a good reason why someone became a member in the first place, and it's not as universal. I had a person become a member because, of the ULR status, so they could learn how to speak English free of charge. And we've had the usual grievances and representation of grievances and disciplinaries, health and safety advice. So we've had all kinds of reasons why a person would become a member. So it's good to understand what their reasons are first, let them talk it out, and understand from their point of view, because it will give you the reasons why they joined the union in the first place. And it's just reminding them that you're there to actually make sure you fulfill their faith. They put their faith in you as a rep who's on the ground. You're just going to reward their faith back again. It's not going to be easy for obvious reasons, because you can sometimes be fighting an uphill battle. And again, constant professional development is always needed. Learn about the employment law, learn about health and safety, learn about ULR, learn about organising techniques. Have that all the time. Because trust me, when a member comes up to you with a problem, you don't know the answer straight away. At least you can go and know how to research the answer and come back to them. That shows that you're genuinely careful. And that will then help to turn them into an activist that will then go out there and recruit more people on your behalf.
I think that's really important about showing that people can have faith in you as a union, keeping your word, I guess, so that people will keep coming back and get more engaged. So, just lost my question. 1 second. It's not just you either. Talked a bit about managing conflict between members, but keeping them engaged, whether it's through a dispute or whether it's through just regular time when there's not a dispute. How do you keep members engaged in the union and keep them coming back? What about you, Martina? Because just specifically health and safety, that is always important, but maybe people aren't necessarily as engaged as they should be. I think it's a bit different because there's some logistics involved and a warehouse. When you don't necessarily see people all the time, day to day, how do you keep them engaged?
The funny thing is, everyone here said the same thing, and I think you guys also believe the same things as well, which is
safety, that is always important, but maybe people aren't necessarily as engaged as they should be. I think it's a bit different because there's some logistics involved and a warehouse. When you don't necessarily see people all the time, day to day, how do you keep them engaged?
The funny thing is, everyone here said the same thing, and I think you guys also believe the same things as well, which is people buy from people. So yes, you put a human face to the message. That's you. You go out there and you will talk about what the concerns are, and you will listen to the concerns, and you will give the answers back. So people will generally buy into you to keep the message going. But then you keep the message going through the non-support, reinforcing other things as well. Final thing is, there's more things out there, but there's two key things that I've done. One is bring the union into the workplace in terms of the additional things that the union can do. An idea would be a legal plus day, a financial education day, or run a campaign on freedom from fear, which became legislation, where shop workers were being attacked. And of course, how many of you guys remember the stories about co-op, where people were going in, robbing, walking out, and the police couldn't do anything about it? That's now become legislation. That there is an independent law to punish those shoplifters and protect the shop workers. So bringing campaigns like that, parents and carers, these kinds of things, they're important because they also reinforce an additional value to being part of the union. It's like ULR, if you help with education, that will also help bring more back into the workplace. It engages members even more. One of the final things that I okay, this country is doing something at its workplace, which is actually quite interesting. We've seen that with a lot of article reps. They've embraced things like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and highlighting a lot of the campaigns that they're doing in their workplace environments. From that, whoever is seeing it, you've got to be careful with your company's social media policy. So read through that first. But if you can, get your company on board. You know, read through the social media policy, talk to the company's media department, see if they can push out the message for you as well. That creates a lot more engagement and gives members more of a chance to be, oh, you know what, it's not just representing me here, it's helping me there as well. That's the case.
Thanks, Hadi. We all agree you don't get paid to be a union rep. Do you open? That would be a big surprise. So, how do you maintain a balance between your duties as a union rep and your regular job? Because you've all got a job as well. How do you do that, Martin? Hadi, how do you maintain that balance between your duties and your regular job?
Okay, you guys are not aiming for this. For me, it depends upon what you want as a rep. For me, as a rep, it was part of my day-to-day duties at work, which was to make sure that there was health and safety, proper health and safety in place. That the managers were not putting people into harm's way by abusing their power, threatening disciplinary action. How many of you guys worked in the pandemic? Just want to show your hands. So you know that before the pandemic, people were okay to do certain things, put themselves into harm's way, so on and so forth. And if they didn't, the managers would come down hard on them through disciplinary action. There was a fear. And because I started studying things like torts and negligence, corporate negligence, things like that, it stopped a lot of our drivers who were of an older age from catching COVID-19 that could have actually been quite fatal for them. Things like COPD, diabetes, that kind of stuff. So for me, it became a matter of, look, if the management and the culture wasn't that way inclined and they were doing what they had to do in the first place, there would not be a need for a rep like me. And that I brought about on a daily basis. I would research the policies, throw it back in their faces, I would research the law, show it to them, organize, mobilize, and antagonize, which is something that I learned from one of our first tutors, Terry Lambert, got arrested for prostate cancer. But I also had a really wonderful TUC tutor, Fred Behardry, as well as Sucha Singh as well. You know, these guys are absolutely amazing what they teach you because they instill that value in you, that you're doing the needs of the business by actually protecting the workforce. How? In short and simple terms, you've got a healthy workforce that has a right to say no to putting someone into harm's way. And guess what? That workforce will be back tomorrow. You're not going to be paying out more money on sick pay. You're not going to be paying out more money on grievances or time out for disciplinary action. It's going to be a fully functioning workforce because they know what their rights are. And that is the job that we have as reps to do to reinforce. That's why it's so important that we do learn and apply that knowledge. We are part of that business, and so there is no difference there.
Thank you, Hadi. And our last question for our reps before we move on to the next part of the agenda. So, looking ahead, what do you think are the biggest challenges and opportunities you see coming for union reps in the next few years? Martina. We have some courses in algorithmic management which we can point you towards as a follow-up to this event. And yeah, final question to you, Hadi, what do you see coming down the line as challenges and opportunities?
Okay, so for me, there's two big challenges. The first challenge is getting more people from the ethnic minority background, underrepresented backgrounds, to actually become reps and get into the employee side of the trade union. The TUC Anti-Racism Task Force found in 2000, after the George Floyd incident that took place in America, that only 6% was from the ethnic minority backgrounds, either branch officers or branch officials, or within the paid employment side of the trade union movement. And that's right across different trade unions out there, like team, multiple business, by actually protecting the workforce. How? In short and simple terms, you've got a healthy workforce that has a right to say no to putting someone into harm's way. And guess what? That workforce will be back tomorrow. You're not going to be paying out more money on sick pay. You're not going to be paying out more money on grievances or time out for disciplinary action. It's going to be a fully functioning workforce because they know what their rights are. And that is the job that we have as reps to do to reinforce. That's why it's so important that we do learn and apply that knowledge. We are part of that business, and so there is no difference there.
Thank you, Hannah. And our last question for our reps before we move on to the next part of the agenda. So, looking ahead, what do you think are the biggest challenges and opportunities you see coming for union reps in the next few years? Martina. We have some courses in outbreak management which we can point you towards as a follow-up to this event. And yeah, final question to you, Hadi, what do you see coming down the line as challenges and opportunities?
Okay, so for me, there's two big challenges. The first challenge is getting more people from the ethnic minority background, underrepresented backgrounds, to actually become reps and get into the employee side of the trade union. The TUC Anti-Racism Task Force found in 2000, after the George Floyd incident that took place in America, that only 6% was from the ethnic minority backgrounds, by branch officers or branch officials, or within the paid employment side of the trade union movement. And that's right across different trade unions out there, like team, Oslo, so on and so forth. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to address this kind of thing that doesn't look like a tick box exercise or affirmative action. They're actually being put in because they're the best people for the job. Now, I know within Oslo and the GMB that they've actually done their black leadership programs, and black meaning within the TUC, all underrepresented minority groups. I'm actually one of the graduates of the Breaking Down Barriers program from Oslo, so I'm really proud of that. And for the people who've done that program, they're developed as leaders. We've got labour councillors from it, we've got people who have now gone into other elements of the trade union movement, health and safety officials. It's brilliant. The second part is wages. Wages is always going to be the biggest factor, especially for low-paid areas like retail. The reason being because not wages go up, so does the expenses. How many times have we heard that the council tax is going to be going up this time next year? Or, again, it's gone up as well as our wages. So you're not looking at inflation eroding your earning potential, it is expenses from other areas that's eroding it. So there's no way that you can actually get ahead. You're constantly going to be caught in the wage trap. As an opportunity, now you're looking at low wage commission and things like that. We do have great facilities right here, right now, especially Labour New Deal, to try and minimise the impacts of inflation and maximise, our rights. But again, a lot of this comes down to the individual trade union companies as well. That need to start saying, right, we want to definitely employ this guy because they're the best one for the role, not because that guy's had that job going. So that's my little point there.
Thanks, Hadi. And thank you to all three of you, Hadi, Ivor and Martina. We've had some brilliant anecdotes, stories and experiences from your time as reps. And we look forward to hearing about the difference you make going forward. So thank you very much.
And that's that for you, Rep Connect. And wow, today was a good one. Sitting on stage, getting involved, and having a lot of people say really nice things to me. I loved it, and I hope to be continuing to do this some more. Guys, remember, whichever industry you're a part of, there's a trade union for you, so make sure you join one because they're there to protect your rights. And if you guys don't understand that, you need to go back to school. So says Hadi Nakri. Catch up with you later. Bye.